What happened while we were away, brought to you by A Time for Rejoicing.
We were informed today, an hour ago, that all our live hostages returned back to us. What excitement.
Donald Trump is the greatest friend that the state of Israel has ever had in the White House.
Still seems rather surreal we're at this point, but thanks to the strong leadership of President Trump and his State Department, along with the strong leadership of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the 20 remaining living hostages from the October 7th, 2023 massacre are now back at home. President Trump, after traveling all night on Air Force One to reach Israel, promptly addressed the Israeli Knesset.
After 2 harrowing years in darkness and captivity, 20 courageous hostages are returning to the glorious embrace of their families, and it is glorious. 28 more precious loved ones are coming home at last to rest in this sacred soil for all of time. And after so many years of unceasing war and endless danger, today the skies are calm, the guns are silent, the sirens are still, and the sun rises on a holy land that is finally at peace.
Trump also made a point of praising Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
And I have a prediction that Marco will go down, I mean this, as the greatest Secretary of State in the history of the United States. I believe that. I believe it. And he and I, we really fought it out. You remember, he was tough. He was nasty. Who the hell thought this was going to happen, Marco, right? And now I'm saying he's going to go down as the greatest. He will.
Trump says it's time to turn the page on a dark chapter, even by Middle Eastern standards, for that region.
This is not only the end of a war. This is the end of an age of terror and death and the beginning of the age of faith and hope and of God. It's the start of a grand concord and lasting harmony for Israel and all the nations of what will soon be a truly magnificent region. I believe that so strongly.
Again, it seems borderline unfathomable. We are at this point to begin with, and our thoughts and prayers are obviously with the families of the hostages who didn't make it back alive. But I'm not sure there's a better example of peace through strength that's unfolded like this in recent times. In other news and back at home, China late last week threatened to basically put the kibosh on the production of any product globally that uses even trace amounts of rare earths minerals either mined or refined in China. That would have sent the entire globe into a meltdown. Trump blasted Beijing for the new directive, announced a new 100% tariff on China, as well as export controls on critical software to the CCP. Sounds like China is now backing off. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, though, is not happy.
We have approached a relationship with China with great respect. The Chinese are very big on symbolism, and I can tell you it was highly inappropriate for them to announce these export controls on the day that the peace deal was announced and overshadow that. I can tell you trying to get leverage in front of a meeting with Donald Trump is a bad idea.
The government shutdown now approaches its second full week. Still no sign of an exit ramp. Who will pick the cotton? Update, here's Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene.
And as a business owner in the construction industry and as a realist, I can say we have to do something about labor, and that needs to be a smarter plan than just rounding up every single person and deporting them just like that.
Right.
So, and I'm going to get pushback on that, but it's I'm just living in reality from here on out.
Yeah.
And if anybody's mad at me for saying the truth, then I'm sorry.
In Virginia, Democrat Attorney General candidate Jay Jones was one of the topics that came up in the gubernatorial debate between Democrat Abigail Spanberger and Republican Winsome Earl Sears. We didn't have a chance to talk about this story last week, but Jay Jones had some old text messages resurface where he wished death upon a Republican lawmaker in Virginia and said he hopes the lawmaker's children die in their mother's arms. Totally normal stuff. Well, that led to this moment at the aforementioned debate the other night.
Would it take him pulling the trigger? Is that what would do it? And then you would say he needs to get out of the race? Abigail, you have nothing to say? Abigail, what if he said it about your 3 children? Is that when you would say he should get out of the race, Abigail?
Those of you listening, Democrat candidate Abigail Spanberger doesn't even make eye contact with Winsome Earl Sears. Prior to those text messages, Spanberger and Jones have been running together as an item. We'll see where this race goes. And finally, we go to South Carolina, where Paul Dans is running a primary campaign against Lindsey Graham for U.S. Senate. Dans was one of the architects for Project 2025, by the way. Here he is in a video over the weekend urging Lindsey Graham, like the rest of us, to just be honest about who he truly is.
Hey, so happy National Coming Out Day. You know, Lindsey, I think it's a day for you to be honest with the voters of South Carolina. There's nothing to be ashamed about. Everybody knows, just come out and admit it. You're a liberal Democrat.
And that's what happened while we were away.